It is 8:30 where I am, and Manchester United has played 2 matches this week after playing 2 matches last week. As usual, I have my laptop here. I have a few thoughts I have written down. Manchester United played again this week in an early weekend kickoff in the afternoon, just 2 nights after playing in the Champions League against Villarreal and needing a last-minute Cristiano Ronaldo goal to help us with the 3 points. For the Villarreal match, the match went as expected with Manchester United this season. We had more possession stats-wise, but in reality, with a new backline of Diogo Dalot, Victor Lindelof, Rafael Varane, and Alex Telles, we were struggling since the beginning of the first half. It looked like Villarreal was the one that was going to score, and De Gea had to make save after save after save in the first half and the second half. And Diogo Dalot was especially struggling defensively on the right side, with Arnold Danjuma terrorizing him all night. Villarreal's attack came mostly from their left side, and Arnold Danjuma actually assisted after going past Diogo Dalot and finding Paco Alcacer for the first goal of the match. And as usual, Manchester United had to go behind before we clicked into gear. And yeah, I want to give a bit of a shine to our midfield that day. We had a new midfield this time with Pogba and McTominay, and as a result, with them and with Aaron Bissaka in the defense through suspension, we were lacking defensive prowess and we had no control in the midfield. We got a goal behind. Alex Telles came back, did the equalizer with a beautiful volley from outside the box after Bruno Fernandes cross, and in the last minute, Edinson Cavani shrugged off Juan Foyt before passing to Fred, who crossed it in to find Jesse Lingard to Cristiano Ronaldo, and he scored in the last kick of the match. It was a good win, but it was as usual for Manchester United that we had a bad performance capped with a good win. And today we played Everton in the Premier League with a heavily rotated squad. McFred coming in, Luke Shaw is back, and Martial starting on the left with Cavani. Through the middle, Everton are also without Seamus Coleman, Richarlison, Andrew Gomes, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Alex Iwobi for this match, so they're not in full strength as well. And as it was that we were playing a bit of a 4-3-3 in the last match with McTominay, the furthest back midfielder, and Bruno and Pogba in front. We sort of played in that formation this match. It was a 4-2-3-1 as usual, but in attack, when we were on the attack, it was probably with Fred dropping deep, and with the amount of time that Bruno likes to shift to the left, it was kind of forced McTominay to be a little bit on the right, so it was kind of like a 4-3-3 in attack. And in defense, we kind of pushed back our two wingers. This Greenwood and Martial kind of pushed back, and Bruno Fernandes kind of presses forward to have a kind of two front with Cavani and Bruno Fernandes pushing forward in the attacking third, which kind of makes it like a 4-2-2. So it depends on where we are, what we're doing, that we have different kind of information. And this resulted as one of the nicest first half I have seen from Manchester United this season. This is the Manchester United that I want to see more often. It was aggressive, one-touch passing, powerful, quick passing, movement from everyone to find space, and especially in the final third for a pass. We were starting in the front foot. It was nice to see. And defensively, Aaron Bissaka, and attacking-wise for Aaron Bissaka, was very impressive with his crossing and his dribbling past Everton defenders. And also, Everton had nothing with blocks. They had to block, forcing blocks from Victor Lindelof, Aaron Bissaka, and Rafael Varane. And other than that, and De Gea had to be forced to save from a Demarai Gray shot from outside the box. But other than that, Everton had to be forced to attack from set pieces or counter-attack, which is kind of the opposite of what we usually do. We usually do that to our opponents. So it was different to see. It was really refreshing, and all that attack resulted in a goal in the 43rd minute for Anthony Martial, the man who has to prove himself on the pitch that day, and he did. After a beautiful, fast-paced, powerful pass across the field from right to left by Mason Greenwood to Bruno Fernandes, who found Anthony Martial to score the first goal. 1-0 in the first half, and it went brilliantly. But in the second half, Everton was a different team. They played amazingly in the second half, probably better in the first. They're devastating counter-attack, but we were still dominant. We had like almost 70% possession in that game, and for some reason, Ole made an early substitution by bringing on Cristiano Ronaldo, and Jadon Sancho coming on in the 55th minute when we were still in control with the players we have on the pitch. And that backfired because in the 65th minute, after an amazing block, well, not amazing, it was blocked by Alan to a corner from Manchester United, and that Manchester United corner resulted in a counter-attack. Abdoulaye Doucouré totally bodying Fred to find, I think it was Demarai Gray or someone. It was Demarai Gray, and a bit of panic in our defense. Luke Shaw and Lindelof especially had no communication whatsoever. That resulted in Luke Shaw just running across Lindelof from the right side. He kind of went running across to the left, which left all the space in the world for Andros Townsend from the right to score. It was a quick, clinical counter-attack. It was a good counter-attack by Everton, and that kind of forced us to make another substitution in the 70th minute for Pogba coming on for Fred. And Everton was really dangerous, mostly on the left side of the pitch, and it kind of forces Lindelof to do a lot of defending, which he did well on a couple of parts. And then in the 85th minute, we almost lost that match after another set piece. This time it was defensive set piece. There was a cross from Everton, and then the cross went away, and it kind of was forced back in. And when that ball was passed back in, our positioning was terrible. We were not ready for that ball to come back inside the box. Everyone was huddled in one position, in one place, on the right side of the penalty box, and there was nobody else in the left side of the penalty box. Tom Davies, if he was clinical, if he just shot that anywhere, it would have gone in, but he was not confident. He passed it to Yerry Mina. He scored. It was offside. It looked almost like it wasn't, but the VAR said it was, and after I saw the VAR check, it was probably the right decision. The best player, I can't really choose, but Everton really improved in the second half, and a special mention to Demarai Gray, Alan, Abdul Doucouré, and Andros Townsend for Everton. If it was the best player on the pitch, it had to be one of Alan or Doucouré for doing all the defensive and the attacking work really well. For Manchester United, it was a good half and a disappointing second half. Best player, as I mentioned, is Alan or Diakore. For the worst player, it had to be Fred once again. He had a quiet first half. There was no comment on him. He did what he had to do. He passed it around a lot, as usual. In the second half, the only time he had to defend was he was bullied by Diakore twice. He was bodied twice. He lost the battle and it resulted into the equalizer and went off in the 70th minute. I think other than Fred, something that has to be heavily criticized was our set piece position. Defensive, attacking wise, our defenders on those positions has to be looked at and it has to be worked again in the training ground, because it was really like we didn't know what to do. Defensive set pieces. When we were attacking the corner, we weren't ready defensively. That led to the goal. And when we were defending a set piece, after the ball went away, we just stopped. We just didn't move. We didn't all go wide from each other, and it just almost resulted in a goal. We were saved by an offside today after a positive performance in the first half, but the second half it was really bad. So it's a really mixed week, and we just lost another 2 points in Old Trafford. I'll see you next week.